Belle and Mary is a petite exhibition, and we focus on Buck Ruxton's two victims, Isabella and Mary. It's 90 years since they were murdered. We felt it was just quite fitting following their recent burials. We chose not to focus on Buck Ruxton because things like this, it's always about the murderer rather than victims. And particularly Mary Ann Rogerson, who was a local girl from Morecambe and who was their nursemaid. She was just shy of her 20th birthday. Unfortunately, she witnessed Ruxton strangling his wife, Bella, and as a witness, Ruxton killed her too. The charges were dropped against Buck Ruxton for her murder because it was thought by the Crown that pursuing the charge of murdering Isabella would have more traction. So the family never really got justice for the murder of Mary. For us, 90 years on, we felt it was really important that we showed these two women as individuals. So we wanted to get objects out from the museum collection that sort of show who these ladies were. One of which is a beautiful letter written from Mary to one of her friends while she was on holiday, but looking after the Ruxtons' three children, and she's having an incredible time. Has a new bathing suit and she's making herself a red dress. She doesn't know how she's going to go back to work after having such a wonderful summer. You really get a sense of who Mary was. We have a lovely postcard photograph of Mary standing on some steps in her housemaid's uniform, looking really happy. She was 5'1" and a little bit, and she had these incredibly striking blue eyes, a really engaging smile, just a young woman completely in the prime of her life and really looking forward to her future. It's some of these really personal objects that we have in our collection that speak louder than any sort of story can, really. Isabella Ruxton was not actually married to Buck Ruxton. They were in a common law relationship, which was quite unusual for the time. She was 34 when she was killed, so she was still a young lady and mother of three children. She met Buck in her mid-20s up in Edinburgh. She was a gregarious, fun-loving woman who loved life. She loved people, she loved dancing. She was a very striking young woman who unfortunately married someone who became quite obsessive. We actually had some relatives of Mary's in the museum last week looking at the exhibition, and I learnt so much more from talking to them as well about how the family dealt with this horrific situation and the loss of Mary. For them to be able to come and see things that relate to their family and to be able to share with us these personal stories is very much important, because it keeps that person's story alive. It keeps us talking about them, and they'll never be forgotten. It's really important that museums are recognised for the work that they do in keeping local history there for people to research, to learn from, to share, to discuss, to debate even. This little exhibition, it's not sensationalising a story, it's talking about two ordinary women who were thrust into completely extraordinary circumstance.